Moving on, WhatsApp is rewriting the rules of identity online. A new username feature promises privacy, hide your phone number, connect without sharing personal details. But the big question looms large. Can this privacy shield become a loophole for misuse? From scams to impersonation risks, concerns are rising. The center has stepped in, putting the rollout under scrutiny. There's a new WhatsApp update as well, a new privacy battle. Let's decode it for you. What exactly is this? Now, your phone number is something that used to be your identity on WhatsApp. That's something that's all set to change, however. In a major privacy push that WhatsApp claims is happening, the app is introducing the username feature, allowing users to connect without revealing their personal numbers. The feature replaces the traditional number-based contact system, which, as per WhatsApp, will create a new layer of privacy. The idea is quite simple. Connect faster, share less, and keep your personal details hidden. But how will this new username feature work for WhatsApp users? Let's take an understanding of what really this is. The length must be 3 to 35 characters. Use lowercase, numbers, underscore, etc. It must contain at least one letter, no symbols or spaces allowed. Cannot use www. or .com or .net as far as the username is concerned. As per WhatsApp, its new username feature comes with key privacy features and also offers existing Meta account integration. These key privacy features include the fact that there's no public directory for browsing. There's also no automatic contact name or suggestions that come in. First Connect needs exact username for it to actually happen. Optional 4-digit username key has also been added. How will it offer the existing account integration? The username in particular can mirror, for instance, Insta, Facebook handle as well. You can also link it to accounts in the account center and maintains consistent identity across various Meta platforms. Now, there's a big test that awaits Meta over WhatsApp's new identity system, and as per highly placed sources, the center has raised huge red flags over the username feature, warning that Meta must ensure its platform is not misused for scams, impersonation, or misinformation. Government sources say that Meta has been given 3 days to explain the new username feature, and there will be no rollout until consultations are complete. There's a clear message from the government. Innovation cannot come at the cost of security. Now, WhatsApp is changing the ways user connects, replacing the phone numbers with usernames. But before the feature goes live, there are cyber security experts also who've raised critical questions. Could lookalike handles fuel impersonation? What is the check in place for scammers misusing usernames or fake identities and then evading agencies? And if numbers stay hidden, will it make tracking cybercrime that much tougher? From cross-border fraud to the impact of anonymity on trust, WhatsApp's privacy upgrade now faces a major security test, globally speaking. Let's quickly open this up to our guests. We have Lloyd Matthias, who's a technology expert with us. NS Napanai is senior advocate and founder of Cyber Sathi. Let me start with you first. NS Napanai, what really are the risks? How real is the possibility of fraud in this new username sort of system, given the fact that they say they have addressed several of those with special codes and additional security features?
So the first thing that comes to my mind is I now have to rush to ensure that I protect my own name and block it so that someone else does not misuse it. Secondly, I have to also be on the lookout to see that someone does not change just one alphabet and phonetically it may sound the same as my name, but it would be some other person who is impersonating me. And there is no way for me to verify the credentials of that person, save and except for the fact that WhatsApp has provided this username to that person. And there are no parameters that are laid down on how that username is going to be given. So for instance, if you were to ask for a domain name in your name, you can of course take any domain name. But if you misuse it, if you take a domain name in my name and you try to misuse it, or you threaten me saying that either I have to pay a premium to purchase it from you or else, then I have a remedy of going before the domain For instance, .com is before Wipo and .in is before Nixie. So you have a remedy to reprise your domain name. Here, there is no such remedy available to you. So when someone reaches out to you saying Napina, and they may probably have it as NAPI, NNAI, no one is going to be wiser, and they're not going to know that it's not NS Napinai who's reaching out. And with a name like this, you can imagine the kind of permutations and combinations that can come up.
Right.
And apart from impersonation, the usage or misuse of that impersonation, we are already struggling with finding remedies against digital arrests, financial frauds, investment frauds, job scams.
Okay.
Take a company's name which may be misused.
Let me bring in Lloyd on that note. Lloyd, the biggest problem, whether it is online abuse, whether it is crimes, etc., is anonymity online. Now, while that needs to be protected in certain contexts, the fact is that this move can threaten that aspect of accountability, even legal accountability, because one of the things or the safeguards that WhatsApp has currently is that you don't have to pick up a call if it's not coming in from within your country and you don't know that number, which is itself a great source of fraud. That is something that could very easily be avoided.
Thanks, Madhav. Madhav, the way I see the big advantage of this move, and I, for a change, I'm on the wrong side with Ms. Tapinai. I think with usernames, people will be able to communicate with another person or a group or a business without sharing their phone number, right? Today, the moment we get in touch with an acquaintance, a business contact, or people you meet at networking events, or you're building society or public interest groups, the moment you join a large community, it means that you are exposing your mobile number to hundreds of strangers in the participation list. And the moment you make a comment, or if you have that as a primary name, people then can start using that number to spam you on other messages. I think in that sense, the name therefore kind of obviates the need to give away the number. And to the point being made about people misrepresenting names, that has always been the issue across social media. I mean, people have captured names on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and that is always the problem. But I think protecting your number from random people.
But Lloyd, may I ask you a question? Today,
Sure.
if I'm a WhatsApp user, I don't have to use my name on my Insta handle or my Facebook profile. My name and details may be there, but that's within a limited circle of friends who may be my users and who may be my friends on those platforms. When it comes to WhatsApp, which I use for professional reasons, now, if it is linked to a Meta account and the name is out there, then the entire identity details are there. Many, for instance, who don't put their photo or their name out on their WhatsApp profile because they're using it for professional purposes.
So, Madhav, firstly, this feature is optional. You don't need to change it. It's not compulsory. Just because you have a Facebook or an Insta account, which is part of Meta, it won't automatically attach to your number and show you as that. You can choose to, right? And as the previous panelist said, you may choose to have a slightly different name. You may not want to use your real identity on WhatsApp. You may want to call yourself, Anchor, Mother, or whatever else that goes with it, right? But the feature is optional. It is not compulsory. But for now, to my mind, it is certainly a privacy feature, because today the biggest issue we have the moment we get into any group is that your name, your number becomes available to everyone in that group. And you don't know who in that group is going to use that number or going to sell that data list to somebody else to target you as spam. So I think it's a protective feature. And the other instance, I want to say that it is a global rollout. Right. So it's unlikely that WhatsApp is finding a short circuit to disadvantage Indian customers.
Probably not, but it will have to comply with Indian law. And let me put that question across to NS Napanai. What really are the options before Meta and WhatsApp? They have to reply to the government notice within the next 3 days. And, allay their fears about the possible misuse, about, this becoming another Telegram or a Signal, where there is so much of privacy features built in that it's also prone to misuse by those who don't have very honorable intentions.
True. The first step is that there is a real fear in terms of it being akin to the Telegram option. What WhatsApp, however, says is, and here is where they seem to have their narrative ready to counter these, allay these fears. What WhatsApp says is, unlike Telegram, where the name that is used is not linked to a number, here the person first links through the SIM card, through a number, but that it is not being used to display it. So the issue really before WhatsApp would be, or for Meta to answer to the government, and I'm speculating here, but it is likely to be to show that there will be access to information of the actual user in case the law enforcement agencies require it. There will also be questions raised in terms of the methodology in which such information will be provided. Already we are struggling with the cross-border organizations when it comes to collection of data. The minute you have a case, unless you have a case registered or a court order, they refuse to divulge information to you. So if you are, for instance, facing cyber scam or cyber stalking, so unless you go to the police and give a complaint and the police then reaches out to WhatsApp, and heaven knows how much time is going to go about.
And let me put that, it's not just about terror. Leave aside terror, cyber stalking, digital arrest, all those things that have happened, Lord Matthias. Just look at the fact that the recent NEET paper leak happened on Telegram. Now, who's to say that the same episode won't now, reappear on WhatsApp if this privacy feature is added?
No, but Madhav, I don't see what is the connection. I think for one, if you're protecting your number against someone who ought not to have your number, it's
anonymity of the perpetrator.
Two is the encryption facility of WhatsApp remains untampered. I mean, which is the reason why even government officials, when they want to talk to something very confidential, they resort to WhatsApp. They do not resort to the other more formal channels. So I don't see why that has to be any issue, because you're still having the privacy protection, you're still having encryption. So I still don't get the point on
how will you trace this actor if his number is not present? How will that person be traced?
I think that, as if a government was to make a request, I'm sure there'll be ways. I'm not sure to what extent, and I'm not a spokesperson for Meta in this context. But I think, to my mind, that does not change the core.
But Lloyd, we all know, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you again and again, but we all know in India, the process is the punishment. So if your police are going to take so many days or weeks or months to try and get that number through the official channels, the perpetrator can just do his crime, throw off the phone or that number and walk away and commit a crime all over again. If the person's number on the other hand is there can be live tracking of that individual. The location can be obtained, and perhaps if there is a heinous crime, can even be arrested by the police.
No, so Madhav, are you saying that therefore today a person who's using a live number and resorting to this illegal activities, things will change dramatically just because he chooses a random name? How does that change things?
Because you don't have the number. How does the police act immediately?
No, but
or how does the complainant complain about a certain number immediately?
No, but I'm saying the moment a complaint is lodged with the police, then it's up to Meta as incumbent upon sharing that number, right? The conversation is encrypted, but sharing a number of someone who's done something obviously illegal like a terror act, I think that is incumbent. That's the law of the land.
All right. We'll have to see, of course, what the government's view is and what, in fact, Meta and WhatsApp's replies within the next 3 days. But Lloyd Matthias, as well as Ernest Nappanai, thanks so much for joining us this evening on The Briefing Room.